Local trade remains upbeat, benefiting from gains from the last session. The JSE paired gains on Friday with global markets mixed as the previous season's rally ran out of steam. The local bourse rose 1.27% for the week, supported by industrial metals, resources and precious metals. JustOneLap founder Simon Brown joins us now for an analysis of the latest market moves at the start of the week. Simon, a very good morning to you. Welcome to Newzroom Afrika. Give us an overview of how the markets are faring in open trade.
Morning, and Paul. As you said, we had a really good week last week, a strong Friday close, but the US was weak on Friday evening. We saw that flow into Asia this morning, and it's hitting our market. We're down 0.5%. Industrials, the one bit of a bright light, giving us some green. Resources down 0.75%. And banks just off 1/10 as we see a fair bit of selling. On the currencies, Rand is 18.97 against the dollar, 23.51 against the British pound, and 20.23 against euro. On the commodity side, gold had a good weekend, 1,949, rising quite nicely there. Brent, $94.60, as that continues to edge higher. Platinum, $937, palladium, 1,253. Both those PGMs having a good start to the week.
Oil prices rose for a third consecutive session this morning, bolstered by forecasts of a widening supply deficit in the fourth quarter. Talk us through some of those moves.
Now, there's broadly two forces at play here. One is the global economy, which is not massively strong, but it's certainly not the recession that many thought we would be seeing in Western Europe and certainly North America at this point in the year. That hasn't materialized. It might still come. But that, of course, is then pushing demand into the oil space. And on the other side, we've got the OPEC Plus members, most notably Russia and Saudi Arabia, who are doing production cuts. They're producing less oil to try and create that squeeze. And ultimately, it is working. And oil in the mid-90s. Earlier this year, I think we kicked off the year in the low 70s. So it's been quite a marked move. As you mentioned, a couple of weeks of green moves there. And oil certainly has got an upward trajectory in it. At this point, looking on track, I'm not sure what's going to stop it potentially getting to $100. The OPEC members like the higher price. They're not going to suddenly increase production. Does mean that trend is probably towards 100 and perhaps higher.
And Bob van Dijk will be stepping down as CEO of Naspers and Prosus. Is this not a little abrupt, perhaps? What's going on in that space?
Very abrupt. And effectively on Friday there he was CEO, all was good. Something happened over the weekend, and as of this morning an announcement came out ahead of the opening of the market saying he would step down with immediate effect. No reasons given. They wish him well, the usual sort of platitudes within the SENS announcement. They have just concluded their latest unwinding of the cross-holding between Naspers and Prosus. These are structures that he had put up. He can say that he had completed what he started in a sense, but it certainly is quite a shock. The shares aren't responding negatively this morning at all, but no one saw it coming, and something's obviously going down. We'll probably find out in time, but for now, Bob van Dijk, he's out.
Mondi has announced an agreement to sell Mondi Tevka. I hope that's pronounced correctly. What do we know about this deal?
Yeah, so this is the exit from Russia. Post the Russian invasion of Ukraine back in February of last year, Mondi had a number of operations in Russia. They've sold off some of the smaller ones. This was the last remaining operation they wanted to exit. They had flagged to the market that certainly this was their intention. They're getting a decent price for it. It's just short of 800 million euros. It is, however, being paid in rubles over the next 6 months. So there is certainly some currency risk from that process. If the ruble were to suddenly weaken, they might get a little more strengthening, might see them getting less. But when it's done, it will be Mondi completely out of Russia. And they have said that they'll take these proceeds that they've got from the sale of the Russian operations and return them to shareholders in form of a special dividend. They don't need the money for operations. They're not looking at any assets to buy, so they'll give it back to the shareholders.
Thank you very much. Let's perhaps leave it there for now. The latest in the world of business, a market update there from JustOneLap founder Simon Brown.